Okay, so for the purpose of this video, we have already read Mr. Morrison all of the low inference notes from his observation that we did last week. We already went over the agenda, and now we're on part 3 of the check-in agenda for new leaders template. So what I'm going to go over with Mr. Morrison is our observation tool for math, and then we're going to work on aligning on our highest leverage focus areas and create action steps. So just a little background. So like we said earlier, loved your lesson and the low inference notes. I think the kids are really going to show growth using this project. And these are just a couple of things that we can go over. The lesson focuses on grade level clusters and grade level content standards. Definitely does that, dividing fractions. The lesson is appropriately relates new content to math content within and across grades. Yes. The lesson intentionally targets the aspects of rigor called for by the standards being addressed. Yes. And which aspects of rigor were targeted? We said application for this because they were applying their knowledge of dividing fractions on the breakout room and the project. So our next section is about the teacher, and the teacher strengthens all students' understanding of the content by strategically sharing students' representations and or solution methods some of the time. The teacher deliberately checks for understanding throughout the lesson to surface misconceptions and opportunities for growth and adapts the lessons according to student understanding most of the time. The teacher facilitates the summary of the mathematics and references to student work and discussion in order to reinforce the purpose of the lesson most of the time. The teacher facilitates this. Oh wait, I already said that. The teacher makes the mathematics of the lesson explicit through the use of explanations, representations, tasks, and or examples some of the time. Instructional strategies are aligned to the standard learning goal and appropriately for the task most of the time. Questions and tasks allow for demonstration of verbal, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learning, so that allows the various cultural modes of learning some of the time, and that's what we'll get to when we do the action steps. Students work with and practice grade level problems and exercises some of the time. Students preserve in solving problems in the face of difficulty some of the time. Students share their thinking about the content of the lesson beyond just stating answers most of the time. Students talk and ask questions about each other's thinking in order to clarify or improve their own mathematical understanding most of the time. Students can increasingly precise mathematical language and ideas most of the time. Students demonstrate independent application of instructional strategies most of the time. Students demonstrate evidence of verbal, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learning aligned with various cultural modes of learning some of the time. And I have attached the low inference notes, and I'll also give you a copy of this if you would like to go back and kind of look over it if you need for your planning purposes. So now we're going to work on part 3 of our template, and that is to align on our highest leverage, focus, and key actions to enhance practice. And kind of what we talked about when we were going over your low inference notes was that let's see if I can find it right here. Questions and tasks allow for demonstration of verbal, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic learning, so that it aligns with various cultural modes of learning. And we kind of want to see, students getting up, moving around, and being able to talk to other students. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So we were talking in math. So when the kids would answer the questions, they would actually get up and move to show their answer for every answer or every problem. So,
okay, I do agree with that. As the coach, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, I'm going to go ahead and send you over some different assessment ideas that I have in my backpack of tools just for you to look at. If you have any additional ideas, I'd love for you to share them with me. And then I'd like to see you try maybe 2 or 3 of these different assessments or ways students can get up and move so they can demonstrate that verbal and auditory and visual and kinesthetic learning over the next week or so. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic. You're
Okay.
such a good coach.
When would a good time for me to be, to come back in and to see something like this be?
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. Tuesday works. Which class would you like me to watch?
Let's see. I would love you to come from Miss Warren's at 1:00, which is your class.
Perfect.
Yes.
I can see if I can get coverage and come over and get that. Well, again, like I said, I'm going to give you a copy of your low inference notes. I'll share that with you on Google Drive. I know you've already seen it and we've talked about it. And I'll share with you this observation tool for math. I'm a paper kind of person, so I like to have a paper copy and an online version, but I'll share both with you
Thank
for
you.
future planning purposes. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
Thank you.